The call came at 2:17 a.m., static. Then a voice, flat, professional. "Mr. Hale, your sister is in critical condition. You need to come now." By the time I reached the trauma ward, the monitors were the only sounds in the room. Skull fracture, brain bleed, coma. I stood over her, watching the slow rise and fall of her chest. Her face was swollen, barely recognizable. The nurse whispered something about the fiancé. He said she fell. But the police... She stopped herself. I didn't need her to finish. There was blood on her engagement ring. The diamond had cut into her finger, a clean slice, like truth carving through lies. I took her phone from her bag. The last text she'd sent was unsent, typed but never delivered. It said only, "He found the documents. If I don't..." The rest was blank. That's when the rage came. Not loud, not wild, just cold. A pulse of clarity. I called him. He answered on the second ring. Laughter, music, the sound of waves in the background. "The dumb bitch wouldn't sign the accounts over," he said. Drunk, careless. Had to teach her a lesson. He hung up before I spoke. I booked the next flight to Monaco. On the plane, I watched the sunrise bleed through the window like an open wound. I hadn't seen him since their engagement dinner, when he'd shaken my hand, smiling like a man who'd already won. He was charming then, the kind who learned your weaknesses by listening too closely. Now I replayed his words. Teach her a lesson. No remorse, no hesitation, just ownership. My sister had loved him completely. The kind of love that blinds you, isolates you, makes you smaller. I warned her once. She said I saw enemies everywhere because of the war. Maybe she was right. But I know patterns of violence. I know how control hides behind affection. When I landed, I didn't go to a hotel. I went straight to the marina. His yacht, Seraphine, was anchored off the coast. White, pristine, floating above water too clear to hide anything beneath it. I watched him from the pier that night, champagne in hand, surrounded by people who laughed too easily. He looked untouchable. I smiled. Everyone thinks justice screams. It doesn't. It whispers. For 3 days I stayed in the shadows, tracked his routes, his habits, the way he slept late, left doors unlocked, trusted staff too much. He thought danger was a continent away. I spoke to a dockhand, an old man with tobacco-stained fingers. Told him I was ex-military security, looking for work. He nodded, said the Seraphine needed maintenance crew. By sunset, I was inside the yacht. Every sound echoed differently on the water. The hum of generators, the whisper of waves. His cabin door was open. On his desk, a folder with my sister's name on it. Bank transfers, offshore accounts, her signatures forged. Every line confirmed what I already knew. I didn't touch a thing. I just watched him sleep through the open window. He looked peaceful. Monsters always do when they think no one's watching. On the 4th morning, the sky broke open with rain. The marina emptied, but he stayed, arguing on the phone, pacing the deck. Something about the accounts being frozen, about an investigator asking questions. He didn't know that was me. I'd already sent everything to the authorities under her name. Every forged signature, every transfer, every photograph of his bruised hands. When he saw me standing on the dock, he froze. "Daniel?" he said, half smiling. "Didn't expect..." I threw the folder onto the deck, pages scattered like white birds in the wind. "You taught her a lesson," I said. His face drained. "You can't prove..." "I don't need to." He looked past me, scanning for escape. But there was none, only the sea, waiting. That night, the Seraphine sailed alone. He was drunk again, shouting into the dark. I followed in a small service boat, engine off, drifting close enough to hear his voice echo across the water. When the storm came, it came fast. Wind tearing through canvas, waves pounding against the hull. The next morning, the yacht returned to port, empty. The Coast Guard found him wedged inside the anchor compartment, face down, no signs of struggle. They called it an accident. Too much alcohol, lost his balance. No one questioned it. No one ever does when the rich fall quietly. I sat beside my sister's bed again. Her heart monitor beeped steady now, like footsteps on the way back to life. The nurse said she'd squeezed her hand during the night. A reflex, maybe, or something deeper. I told her softly, "It's over." No tears came, only stillness. Some people call it vengeance. I call it balance. War teaches you one thing. Justice doesn't always come from law. Sometimes it rises from silence, from precision, from knowing exactly when to let go. I looked at her one last time and stood. Outside, the morning light cut through the blinds, cold, perfect. And somewhere, far out at sea, the Seraphine rocked gently against the tide, empty, waiting, quiet as truth.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and comment. Subscribe now to Cheating Stories Insight World for more amazing stories.